Mr. Speaker, I regret that the member didn't take his full time because, in my opinion, this member has, of all the National Party members, in fact of all the people on that side of the House, the best grasp on this legislation, and he is someone who I think worked hard as chair of the committee to try and broker a compromise, something in the interests of the Polytech sector and something in the interests of long-term stability in that sector. But unfortunately, the woman wasn't for turning, and for that reason, we were unable to make the sort of progress. I think he also is someone who understands the potential of the sector in a period of relative turndown. In a recession and coming out of a recession is a really important time for the Polytechnics to be involved in the skill development, in working with the business community in particular, in order to prioritise and get the resources where they need to be so that we have the skill development that this country so desperately needs. I think all of us accept that the current shape of governance is not perfect. I think all of us think that there are too many members on some of the councils, and there's an acceptance that we could bring the numbers down and not lose anything and get a coherence out of that, which would work. And I see the member is nodding. I think there's also a view amongst many people that this has gone too far, and when the minister is forced to have her appointments made, then at that point the gaps will become apparent because there will be communities or communities of interest who won't have the input at that particular level that we all think is important and is valuable. And obviously the proof of the pudding's going to be in the eating in that particular area. I want to join the chair of the committee in thanking the officials as well. They did do a good job, and it's fair to say that during the process they were under some pressure because, and as I've discussed with the chair, I think they forgot who they were advising. I think for a period of time they thought they were advising the minister and getting the minister to clear their reports to the Select Committee, and that of course is constitutionally inappropriate. They were appointed for the bill as advisers to the Select Committee, and for them to brief directly someone who is not a member of the Select Committee is not appropriate. I think in the end we cleared that out, cleared it up, and we got it sorted. But sir, there was a period of tension when the officials indicated that it was their intention to breach the privilege of this House and to report directly to a member who was not a member of that Select Committee. And it doesn't matter if that member is their minister. For the purposes of this exercise, they were appointed as advisers. I can hear the minister chirping. She doesn't understand the legislation, but she certainly doesn't understand the importance which this Parliament has put on its privileges and the approach that should be taken in that area. I want to say to the Maori Party that I regret that their amendment was not passed. I regret that they didn't do some work on it earlier, because I think it was the sort of amendment which had the potential to garner some support from other parts of further support from other parts of the House, if in fact there had been a proper process. In fact, there's a member who sits directly behind the Maori Party whip, who I think, if he was pushed pretty hard, could well have been talked into supporting it, because it's absolutely consistent with the things that he has been pushing for years over a period of time. But, sir, what the records will show, and I sort of regret to say this to the Maori Party, is that on the first reading, on the second reading, and they voted for the continuation of this legislation, which wipes out Maori representation on this. Yeah, it's all very well for the members to say other people did it too, but that is the sort of excuse that when he was involved in the education system, he would never accept from children. The fact that Johnny and George did it doesn't mean that Sam should do it as well. And that's the approach, that's the excuse. That's the excuse that Mr Flavel is using at the moment, and it is just not good enough. I want to turn back to the Minister and say that I really appreciate seeing her in the House today. I appreciate that she gave a speech. I appreciate that she covered the areas that were missing in the second reading, in the speech that she did not give. That I appreciated her fleeting visit to the House during the second reading, and I appreciate the fact of how fast she moved when she realised what was going on in the House. Sir, it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad when a member has been here, I think, for 7 years now. When she's been a minister for a year, she does not understand that she has to be present in the House to make a second reading speech. She used to be a whip.
Order. I've got a point of order from Paul Quinn.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, yesterday a number of points of order were taken against that member for referring to a person who was not present in the House, and he continues to do it now.
Point of order, Mr Speaker.
I don't need a point of order to speak to that. I just say to the member, if he wants to raise a point of order, come directly to the point of order. What happened yesterday is yesterday's newspapers are not relevant for today, particularly. I've listened to the member's presentation very carefully. He's making comments about how he appreciates the member being in the House, appreciates the time spent here, and is not referring directly to the member being absent from the House, which is the subject of the member's point of order. And therefore the member is in order, and I invite him to...
Point of order, Mr Speaker.
Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr Speaker, I thought you might have dealt with the fact that Paul Quinn referred to the Minister's absence from the House in his point of order, and that in itself was out of order.
That's not a point of order. Member will continue.
Mr Speaker, as I say, I very much appreciate the fact that the Minister has turned up, that she's used her second reading speech, so all the work from the officials hasn't gone amiss. I regret the fact that she appeared to get her pages out of order and lost her way as she was giving the speech. And my advice to her is that it is very useful before one comes to the House to read through the speech and make sure that the pages are in the right order and that it makes sense, and then she won't make the mistake again of the type that she made. And sir, I might say I can't remember back to her first reading speech, but I must say that well, sir, it didn't create a great impression on me, the first reading speech, but I know that the second reading speech made no impression at all. The committee stages, she did 3 minutes and 20 seconds, 3 minutes and 20 seconds over a period of 2 hours, signing her Christmas cards, and I say that that showed very well on the parliamentary TV, and I want to compliment the technicians who showed the Minister when they thought she was going to speak on a number of occasions, writing away on her Christmas cards. But I think, sir, we have a third reading, and what does the Minister do? She gets the pages of her speech wrong. So she got at least 3 out of the 4 wrong, and the first one I can't remember. Now, the Minister is chirping away, talk about the bill. Well, I have actually been in the House, I have been here, and I have talked about this bill right through the debate. And I'm just sorry that that member hasn't chosen to get on her feet and to speak properly on the bill up until now. She can chirp, she can criticise, she can wail, she can cry, but, sir, in the end, this bill will go down as the piece of legislation that stripped out representation from iwi. It said to the Business New Zealand, we don't want your representatives who know about the local economy on our council. We don't want local business people because Anne Tolley knows best. Well, I just say to Anne Tolley, the Welltech Council, talk to her about the people from Wairarapa who are on the UCOL Council. Talk to her about Gordon Chesterman, who used to run the campaigns for the National Party in Hamilton who came to the Select Committee and said, do not do this. A whole pile of people who are members of the National Party who know about Polytechnics, a whole pile of people who are members of the National Party. We know that they are. They told us. We've worked with them in the past. You know, we know them well. They're mainly good people. I appointed numbers of them because they had the talent to do the job. And what that member has said is that what they say doesn't matter. She doesn't care what her National Party members say. She doesn't care what the chairs of the council say, because Anne Tolley knows best.
I call Catherine Delahunty.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker. Tēnā koutou katoa.